But one thing I like about him, one thing I do like about him, he's selling it. He's selling it, and he's making good money, and he's entertaining. I like it.
Is he? And Floyd
is up, bro. Keep it a stack. Did you in your head size up Floyd? Like, was you know what I'm saying? If we was ever keep it real, bro, keep it real.
I'm never that type.
Floyd Mayweather has dropped another bombshell after calling out Terence Crawford to abandon his fight with Canelo Alvarez and fight him instead. That will be nothing more than an exhibition fight. But I doubt if Floyd Mayweather is aware that the fight gives Terence Crawford and adds no prestige to his impressive boxing record. It does nothing to his journey to the International Boxing Hall of Fame glory. At best, it's a quick and easy platform to make money for the former undisputed world welterweight champion.
I always been happy for him, been a fan of his, and I never imagined us fight. Yeah. I never looked at him.
For some reason, the boxing legend feels he and Crawford will make more money than Canelo, and Crawford, the essence of this for Floyd, was to finally put an end to the debate of who's a better fighter between him and Terence Crawford, seeing Terence Crawford is the only boxer that has the closest boxing record to Floyd Mayweather, which has sparked several debates in the past regarding who's the greatest boxer of all time. Well, maybe the fight will eventually happen, but it may be too soon seeing. Crawford is still active and chasing greatness. The super middleweight champion did so much to land this fight against Canelo, and it's unlikely he'll be willing to let it go.
Hit, not get hit, to make the adjustments that he's made to certain fighters. You know, he's
the pound for pound top fighter in boxing right now is Terence Crawford. Terence Crawford, I just truly believe he doesn't have to be under my company for me to give a guy props. I'm not like that. You know, if he's ever free.
Several boxing fans have severally drawn comparisons between Floyd Mayweather Jr. and Terence Crawford. Bud refused to deprive the 50-0 boxing champion of his rightful honors. Terence Crawford appreciates Floyd Mayweather, and when he was asked about their similarities, he had a few more things to say. As well, Crawford praised and acknowledged Floyd's greatness and called him the king.
I think, you know, I take more chances.
Excuse me, Crawford.
You know, right now, but earlier in his career, he was taking a lot of chances as well. So, you know.
He then continued highlighting that they have quite a lot in common in some aspects, but they're a little different because Crawford feels he takes more chances earlier in his career. He was taking a lot of chances in his career. As well, he largely feels it depends on which Floyd Mayweather we're talking about when one's talking about money. Or you're talking about Pretty Boy, because Pretty Boy was the seeking destroyer. Then he started having hand injuries, so he couldn't really keep up with the same power, and he was moving up and fighting bigger.
Which Floyd Mayweather you talk about? Do you talk about money, or do you talk about Pretty Boy? Because Pretty Boy was the seek and destroy
free, and he want to go to any company. If he's a free agent, I would love to work with him if he's free, because I know that what I can do to take him to that next level. Because with Jim Stanley, raw talent, hell of a fighter. There's a lot of hell of a fighters out there.
Like Crawford said, they have quite a lot in common. However, boxing fans and supporters have compared both fighters to discover the better fighter. And when they did, a news source put Crawford as the likely winner of a fight between the two fighters when it comes to pure boxing ability, you'd be hard-pressed to find another producer of more sweet science masterclasses than Floyd Mayweather Jr.
Reach from the left hooks again. And the lightning hand speed extraordinary. Left hook drops him. And then he hit his head off it en masse here at the engine.
The crisp jab, precision, timing, and counter-punching ability all empowered Mayweather to pick his long list of opponents apart. And he did it over 2 iterations of himself.
Jab.
Very hard.
Defensive work. Chin.
Just as Crawford said, Pretty Boy Floyd was the more aggressive boxer, bring the fight to opponents, while Money Mayweather years later would compute and edge opponents out with brilliant boxing. Whichever style you prefer, both bodies of work made the legend that is Floyd Mayweather Jr. Comparatively, boxing fans are still in awe of what Crawford did to Spence in his last fight.
Footwork.
Whether it was a power jab that he repeatedly snapped through Spence's guard punching in traffic or the timing of his counter punches, Bud exhibited supreme boxing ability. And it wasn't the first time, but we've never seen it like that against a fighter of Spence's caliber. When talking about pure boxing ability, arguably nobody should get a push over Mayweather. But Crawford's style of boxing is different yet effective, even explosive in his own right. So how would their boxing stack up if Crawford would fight Mayweather in his prime and use his lasering shots against Mayweather's disciplined sweet science, who would assert the jab first, who would be the more effective counterpuncher?
IQ. Legacy.
There are so many ways to see this play out that it might be best to declare this category a draw. How many times have we witnessed Mayweather low and eventually lure his opponents to the middle of the ring, where he computed information, analyzed it, and uploaded a blueprint to pick his opponents apart? Mayweather took his ring IQ and mantra hit and not get hit, and essentially rode it to the Hall of Fame as an undefeated 5 division world champion. Crawford, and being crowned undisputed at junior welterweight and now welterweight, has shown a high ring IQ himself throughout his career. Mayweather demonstrated hand speed, especially on the counter punching end, but Crawford's slashing angles and whiplashing delivery has Bud owning the advantage in speed.
Look at this, Vince. Unbelievable. For young boxing fans that are watching Floyd Mayweather, you're seeing one of the greatest defensive fighter of all time. I mean, that's how strong. If you're wearing, then he's nowhere. You think you... And again, it's not just hand.
Of Mayweather's 50 wins, 27 came by way of knockout. That's in comparison to Crawford's 40 wins, 31 of them coming by a knockout. And he's still active now. Re-enter Crawford's wizardry over Spence, dropping him 3 times en route to a dominant 9th-round TKO, decimating a power-punching body-snatching fighter like Spence, who systematically broke down Kell Brook, Sean Porter, and your Dennis Yugas to become the unified world welterweight champion was anything but easy, yet Crawford made it look easy, and his power was a big reason why Mayweather painted in the corner, raising that shoulder into the Philly shell and absorbing shots with his arm while using his free hand to pick his punches. Was defensive boxing turned counter punching at its very finest.
It's the movement of the head, the way he rolls with punches. Look at the way he makes him miss. I mean, here we go. Do a series of punches and nothing really landed. Rip it by Mayweather. Oh!
Crawford has some slick defense to him as well, but Mayweather took defensive boxing skills to another level of damn near perfection. All drum up how would Crawford against a prime Mayweather fight actually go, and who would win after a tense first round, where each boxer is trying to feel out the other. We see Crawford being a more active and busy fighter early on, launching and landing shots, even if many of them are absorbed by Mayweather's shoulder and elbowed by the middle rounds. Mayweather's style would set in as he'd pepper Crawford with jabs, banking some rounds.
Crawford cares about his life, and with that fight, what do that fight do for Canelo? Fighting Crawford, and Crawford beats Canelo. What do that do for Canelo? I just think that there are so many other fights to make that's realistic, it makes sense, and less life risking on top of the risk that we risk stepping in there with guys our way.
Yet with a constant flow of pressure, Crawford's firepower to get to Mayweather, even enough to hurt the legend at times, as close as we see this one being Crawford's fighting ability. And those whiplashing punches might be just enough to have judges credit him on his pressure and volume en route to a points win over Mayweather's brand of boxing.
Booth time to take over and start beating the guys around him. He's the best of that group. Bud is in a group above him. Bud don't need to come back down to 47 to meet him. That's crazy.
Terence Crawford, a 4-division world champion, has expressed his interest in facing Canelo, the reigning super middleweight king. However, the weight disparity between the two poses a significant challenge for the American fighter.
Yeah, because a lot of people are saying, like, hey, forget about Canelo. That was a tough fight with Madrimov. Go ahead and give Boots a shot. Give Boots the chance. But Eddie's saying, hey, I think Crawford's saying, hey, give me the Canelo fight, or I'm not fighting. I'm done.
Why? What he got to prove to Booth? Booth time to take over and start beating the guys around him.
Former heavyweight champion Ron Jr. shared his perspective on the clash between Crawford and Canelo Alvarez while praising Crawford's talent and skills the legendary boxer leaned toward Canelo as the favorite. The former champion emphasized the importance of Canelo's punching power as a decisive factor in the fight. He's
the best of that group. Bud is in a group above him. Bud don't need to come back down to 47 to meet him. That's crazy. Why would he? Bud looking to try to make history and get out. Get his big bank and get out. His big bank is who? Canelo. He willing to take that gamble, see if he can beat him. If he beats him, he may go fight Benavidez next. If he don't beat him, he say, okay, I'll take it as high as I can go. I'm done.
And now you want me to do something. Canelo's not coming down to 60.
No. It's Crawford who wants it. He wants the chance to prove it. He's the best.
I get it.
This era.
I get it.
Yeah.
I get it.
Right.
And and again, that's one of what's happening on a shakeup of the new world order, where you got fighters that really 54 at best.
His analysis underscores Crawford's need to neutralize Canelo's renowned power. If Crawford can impose his technical boxing skills and avoid Canelo's devastating punches, he could stand a chance of pulling off a historic upset, while a potential fight between Canelo and Crawford remains a dream scenario for fans. Canelo Alvarez is currently focused on preparing for his next bout.
Big for Crawford, I'm not sure about that because Crawford does have punching power and shock, but I think Canelo's a little big show tonight. He's pretty big, so I probably would rather see.
International Boxing Federation interim champion William Skull has been mentioned as a possible opponent. This wasn't always the case for Roy Jones Jr., though the Hall of Fame fighter and current promoter trainer and respected analyst Roy Jones Jr. had earlier shared scenarios in which he sees both Terence Crawford and David Benz beating Alvarez before going against his former prediction.
Charlo fight Crawford first, and then see how that goes. If he does good against Charlo with the weight, then let's see him come up and fight Canelo. Yes, but not right now. I want to see him. I want to see Crawford come up from weight classes and show he can be dominant at 54. You understand me?
That fight will go Crawford and
Crawford won a pound best fighter fight.
To take on a Canelo who can actually fight a cruiserweight and maybe give a cruiserweight, especially at this moment, all the hell they can want. You can't hurt a guy like Canelo, and you don't have height and depth to be able to at least have something to work with, then we're going to see another, what they say, boring fight, not say a smart fight.
The two-time 168-pound Stitlitz Benvitz has been pounding the table for a crack at Alvarez over the last 2 years. Formally recognized as the best welterweight in the world, Crawford is open to moving up 2 weight classes for the chance at clashing with the Mexican star Alvarez. Meanwhile, maintains that a win against Crawford would do little for his legacy, even though many are giving Crawford a real chance to score the win.
You know, being that you obviously, again, appealing Team Crawford, can you confirm? Are we going to see that fight? Has it been made official? Is it official?
It's on, baby. September 13, baby. Look forward to it. Crawford versus Canelo. Listen how I said it.
Hey, are we getting this confirmation here first?
You understand?
Jones, who fluctuated in weight during the latter half of his career, as a 4-division title holder, said Alvarez should continue his career moving forward at super middleweight, being that.
You never know in boxing. I'll go up and down and fight everybody out there. So it's possible. Why not?
Last year, Canelo Alvarez fought on September 14th around the Mexican Independence Day, and it's only normal that his annual September fight comes up on September 13th this year. It's been reported that the Mexican champion has booked the T-Mobile Arena for September 13th this year, as he looks set to take on Terence Bud Crawford on the said that just about a year after his fight against Edgar Berlanga at the same location of fight that clashed with the UFC Nazi.
I understand the money grab. I understand it's about the bag. Crawford ain't 26. Another major network is saying they packing their bags up. You're gonna see a lot of desperate moves jumping off. You're gonna see a lot of very unrealistic, unorthodox, crazy thinking, crazy gossip.
You know, being that you obviously, again, appealing Team Crawford, can you confirm? Are we going to see that fight? Has it been made official? Is it official?
It's on, baby. September 13, baby. Look forward to it. Crawford versus Canelo. Listen how I said it.
Hey, are we getting this confirmation here first?
You understand? Yeah, it's confirmed. Man, what?
Say less.
Crawford versus Canelo, not the other way around. Team Crawford, stand up. Pound for pound, the best in the world. Soon to be the super.
Canelo Alvarez has been rumored to take on Terence Crawford in a potential super fight later in 2025. The Mexican pugilist is a boxing icon and has had an illustrious career. Both him and Crawford are two of the best pound-for-pound fighters in the world at the moment, and a showdown between them would be a spectacle. Canelo Alvarez might be getting older, but age hasn't done anything to slow down his momentum, and status as the face of boxing fans haven't been overly pleased with his opponent choices in recent years, with many claiming he's avoiding the very best, like David Benz.
Respect Crawford, he's a great fighter, and I always say that, no disrespect him, but sometimes it's a little crazy, the people talking about a small fighter like Charlo. He's big. Which,
despite that, Alvarez has continued to sell out every arena he fights at, regardless of opponent. The same will happen later this year, as a much anticipated bout against Terence Crawford has been all but finalized. Everything points to that fight happening on September 13th at the T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas. But will Canelo be out of action for that long? It's unlikely, and Boxing Scene may have uncovered the date and location of his next fight. Boxing Scene learned Thursday that 4 fight cards are reserved on the Strip for March 22nd, March 29th, April 5th, and May 3rd, the last of which is a great unknown for now.
And everybody's talking about if I'm gonna face Crawford, fighter 147, who is smaller than Charlo. So no make sense when you guys say that right now. At the end of the day, I don't want to have credit.
By subscribing to our YouTube channel, and don't forget to turn on notifications to get notified when we drop quality contents like tea.